Thank you, Mr. Chair. The increase of $7.9 billion above the FY24 defense budget to $849.8 billion top line for a 25 defense budget represents a 0.9% increase in defense spending. Accounting for inflation, it's really a cut to the defense budget, and with that cut, I understand the department is faced with some tough choices. The effect of these cuts can be seen in the Navy's request for only one Virginia-class attack submarine and the Air Force's request for 6 fewer F-35s and 18 instead of 24 F-15EXs, among other requests for less across the DoD. I'm really concerned about the cap that we place on defense spending as we're trying to deter two near-peer adversaries. Also want to talk a little bit about Taiwan. I just recently got back there from Taiwan, meeting with President Tsai and others. They're really concerned, as am I, about the $19 billion in the weapons backlog. I believe quite a few F-16s that need to be there by 2026, Harpoon missiles. Mr. Secretary, what are we doing to reduce this backlog?
Thanks, sir. Well, you may have heard me say earlier that 3 years ago I stood up a task force to really look at this backlog and figure out what the obstacles are. And this, the FMS process is a complicated process that involves a lot of different moving parts. And that Tiger team is still in existence. It identified a number of things that we needed to, we could do to speed things up, and where we can, we have done those things. But my charter to them is to keep working things and keep moving this forward as fast as we can.
Okay, let me interrupt you. I'm sorry, sir. I know General Bacon did ask about this previously, and I know you've got a plan, you've got somebody looking at this, but, with a possible invasion at 2027, and I know some generals have said that, and Xi Jinping is reducing his timeline. He's gone from 2035. He is ramping up aggression and coercion economically and socially. They are crossing the line in the Taiwan Straits every day now, not just once a month. But this is picking up. The storm is coming. What are we going to do to help Taiwan prepare for a proper defense against the communist powers of China?
In accordance with the Taiwan Relations Act, we will continue to provide Taiwan assistance to defend it, to help defend itself, and we've been doing that over time. We remain focused on their needs and getting security assistance to them as quickly as we possibly can. And again, some of this involves industry, as you know,
right? And
it's easy to say I can spin the dial and force industry to produce something quicker. Not always that easy. But we are committed to working with industry to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to move as rapidly as possible. When we recognize that there are challenges that a number of countries can present, I personally don't see a conflict with China being imminent or inevitable. But again, we have to be prepared, and we got to make sure that if something like that happens, we are dominant in the battle space. And that's our goal, and that's what we're working towards every day.
Well, I agree with you, sir. I think the best, of course, you're much more of an expert than I, but we've got to help in the deterrence and not let this get to a point where there is kinetic conflict. I want to skip back to Ukraine just a little bit, because I know that you said, I forgot your exact quote about kind of defining what victory looks like, that they end up with a democracy and a sovereign nation. But what does that mean? What does victory look back? Is it like, is it taking back Crimea? Is it pre-1991 borders? We have got no clear definition of what the end game is. How much are we in this for our taxpayers? How long will this last? And it's really hard to sell continuing supplemental packages to the folks back home in the Missouri's 4th Congressional District when we get no clear definition.
Well, again, we do want to see Ukraine as a democracy that's independent and a sovereign nation, and again, with the ability to defend itself and deter aggression in the future. And we are doing things to to help them build
All
that
right,
capability.
I'm sorry, we're out of time. I appreciate your answer, but that does not answer the question of what does victory look like. America
Gentleman's
deserves that
time's
answer.
expired. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Panetta.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.